The trolls have returned home to reclaim their ancestral homes and rebuild their places of glory in the Hall of the Mountain King. Hey guys, and thanks for joining us today at Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows, and today we're looking at In the Hall of the Mountain King from Burnt Island Games. This is from designers Jay Cormier and Graham Jans. Artwork is from Kwanchai Moria, and graphic design by Josh Capel.
It's a 2 to 5 player tile laying route building game that takes about 90 minutes to play. Burnt Island Games was happy to send us a copy, so let's take a look at how it's played.
To set up the game, use the side of the board for your player count and place it near the tunnel supply, the Great Hall tiles, spells, and horde of troll cards.
Draw and place a pedestal on each of the level 2 trolls and a marker on the level 3 trolls, and place the coronation tokens nearby.
Randomly place the workshop tiles for your player count, add the pedestal point tokens to the board, and place the statues in a pattern around the board.
Give each player their board, starting gate, and starting trolls.
Each player assembles their Trolls Moot by drawing 2 cards and choosing one to go in any slot, drawing another card, and then placing it in a different slot, and so on until they have filled the first roll of their Trolls Moot. They will gain the starting resources at the bottom of the cards and slide their board to cover those starting resources. Any bonus resources for second, third, and other players are gained, and then you're ready to begin.
On your turn, you may first choose to activate a workshop if you have one, which allows you to swap resources, and you may cast a spell. A rune is spent to the card and the action is taken. Once 3 runes are on a spell, it is replaced with a new one from the deck.
Then, players must either recruit a troll or dig a tunnel. When recruiting, you will select a troll from the horde. Level 1 trolls are free to take, but trolls must be bribed to get a level 2 or a level 3. So if I wanted this level 3 troll, I'd need to pay off every troll below.
The troll is placed in your Troll's Moot and triggers a cascade of resources. If a resource is still on a card from a previous turn, a new one is not gained.
Instead of gaining a troll, players may instead dig a tunnel by spending matching minerals to construct it. Building larger tunnels and using rare minerals will result in more points awarded. But players must spend a hammer to build over each mountain space with rubble.
Once players have completed their action, they may also dedicate a Great Hall by covering a tunnel area to gain additional points. They may also decide to move a statue by spending matching colored carts to move them into a Great Hall or further into the mountain. Bonus points are awarded if that player can construct a matching pedestal for their statue.
Once a player has completed their Trolls Moot cascade, they gain a coronation marker for points. Once the coronation tokens are gone, the round finishes and everyone gets 2 more turns. Additional points are awarded for pedestal tokens, the Great Halls, statues, and resources, and the player with the most points is crowned the Mountain King.
In the Hall of the Mountain King introduces a couple of pretty new, unique, maybe mechanics that I haven't really seen in other places that kind of set you up for your resource spending and gathering. You're building this almost pyramid scheme, we'll call it a mountain scheme, where you have to pay kind of a base cost in order to be able to get the higher card in the pyramid. You're also doing the same thing when you add it to your personal tableau, where you're gaining resources off of whatever that card touches, each line, card down the line. And then in the mountain as well, you're kind of building, everybody's building towards the center, the top of this mountain as they're playing the game, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's cool that even the title, you can hear the song going through your head. I can imagine all of these trolls working hard and furiously making their best their best efforts of building the tunnels and building these great halls to just show off the glory of coming back to the mountain.
The game is not really a race game, but I feel there's a lot of like tension and pressure in it. The biggest points that you're going to earn in the game are when you get to that center section of the mountain, trying to have the right, build the right tiles so that you can get up there and kind of beat everybody else to it, because you can only have one pedestal of each color in each of the colored rings on the mountain. And so you're obviously going to want to try to get those big points if you can. Usually the way that I've been successful in winning the game is by getting to that top part first and being able to put one or two pedestals up there. There's a really nice tension throughout the entire game as you're kind of counting other people's resources, seeing what pedestals they're on. There's a lot of like being able to watch what's going on the table to try to make informed decisions in the game.
Yeah, and if you see somebody who's just trying to make a beeline right for the center, you can take a different approach and work on building up a greater area of touching tiles in your tunnels, and then place a hall there, and that will also earn you quite a few points in the game the bigger you go.
Yeah, there's lots of different ways to do it. Some of the even more interesting things in the game include the spells that are changing as you play the game. Each person can only use the spell, or not each person, but total you can only use the spell 3 times. So a really great spell might come out, I might use it, she might use it, the next time I might use it, it's totally gone for the rest of the game, and you're pulling out a new one. Each of those spells is really powerful in totally different ways, and so kind of evaluating how do I want to spend my magic gems over there, and how do I want to spend my coins over here, and there's a lot of resource allocation and management going on.
Yes, this is one that I played a prototype back at PAX Unplugged when they were still in development. It's really cool to see the game finally coming to market after the Kickstarter. This is one that was on my top anticipated list for this year, or this past year, knowing that it was coming out. I really like the innovation of that cascading resource. I think it's an excellent way to offer a new way to gain resources in the game, because if you leave resources out on that cascade, then they're wasted basically if you add more cards to it, because it only gains resources on empty spaces on that cascade. So you have to plan out, I need to spend some of these resources so that when I need to have more of this type of building mineral to gain more by adding another troll, I need to have spaces open so that I can gain the most on my turn when it gets back to me. There's so much thinking going on. It's not necessarily really difficult to understand and pick up, but there's a lot of planning and thinking about how to use your resources effectively, along with some of the other bonus things like the spells that you can do even better things on your turn.
Yeah, even things like the carts, and they're color coded, so you can't move a pedestal unless you have the right carts. There's some wild carts. There's so many different approaches to be able to come at the game. It's not really a point salad, but there are lots of good different ways to be able to claim those points. A lot of it is going to be kind of based on your timing. I've only got 4 gray bricks. I can only build a road that's 4 long. What piece do I even take from the tile set that will best fit, that will get me to where I want to go? I don't feel like I struggle with AP ever anyway, but I didn't feel like the games that we played in that many people did. You kind of do have like just the right amount of time for me to be able to plan my next turn by the time it gets back to me. Usually you're not, at the player counts that we've done, at least maybe you would have more if you played 5, but I didn't feel like we were overlapping each other's paths so much, so there wasn't direct interaction, but definitely still counting, like he's got a white pedestal and a white wheelbarrow or whatever. I think white might be wild blue or whatever. Probably going to move that one color. I can't move over here because I don't want to waste it. A lot to observe, a lot to play. Had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, if this sounds like something you're interested in, you can check out In the Hall of the Mountain King, which I would highly recommend, from Burnt Island Games. And be sure to check out our other videos and subscribe to Tantrum House.
A little rambly, but I think we had lots of good things to say.
We did. That they chose a song that fits well with this theme. I can imagine hear the sound.
Can imagine hearing the sound.
Players must either recruit a troll.
That doesn't sound good. It takes about 75 to an hour and a half minutes to play. Hour and a half minutes.
Hall of the Mountain King from Burnt Island.
The trolls have returned to reclaim their ancestral homes in the glory of words in the mountain house. That was close.
The glory of words.
The places of glory rebuild their places of glory in the hall of the mountain king. The trolls have reclaimed. Are you ready?
Yes.